This is going to be a small group. I'm going to latch this door behind me. So if you're not up to that, don't freak out or don't come in. When we walk down, I'd like you to walk down to that next head gate where that little chain is. Don't touch it unless you need a tetanus shot. And I'm going to have you wait there and stay to the left. Let me get a little space to get down in front of you and be the first one in. We ready? Yeah. Come on in. There is no warranty if the locks don't work and we're stuck. Of the operating room. The interesting thing is the photograph on your right, there's only one doctor in there. The rest of those individuals, surgical techs, surgical scrub nurses, assistants, surgical assistants, they're all inmates here. This is an inmate-run hospital. The inmates had to essentially apply, and a lot of them spent a lot of time in this space, and they got very good at what they were doing. They were given all sorts of additional benefits and privileges to be able to do this in this space. They had better diets. They were able to eat in different dining facilities than the general population. They had special banquets occasionally for recognition, and they had a chance to work with many, many physicians and surgeons from the outside. They were coming in here doing surgery on a regular basis. In the middle of the 20th century, there were probably operations in here almost every day for the inmates. Squeeze on in here. And if you're a little smaller, it's okay to come up a little further so people can look over you. And when the archaeologists came in, you guys move up in front, When the archaeologists were here, they removed approximately 30,000 pounds of debris that essentially just fluffed off the ceiling and the walls of this facility. You guys can take a couple of steps forward like these folks. There was quite a bit of work. They wanted to make sure, and this is just from 40 years ago. This was an operating facility until 1970, well, January 1970, essentially 1969. And the kind of working there was just amazing. We suspect that this particular space was primarily a scrub area for the surgeons and a prep area. We got a high volume air evacuator here. They might have been doing that to evacuate some of the anesthetic to make sure that they didn't pass out themselves. That it's a very complex issue. And in the entire history here, this is a very complex place, and we're only looking at one little tiny bit of it in terms of what they were trying to do in benefiting these inmates and society as a whole. So let's come on into the operating room. Got some room off on my right here, room off the lights, but I need you to stay alert and aware of where you're stepping into. Doing all the things, be careful standing underneath this. If you look at the ceiling, you'll notice it's a glass ceiling. In the late 1800s, electricity, yeah. 1880s, this building was electrified. Very inconsistent, not very bright, not to the level that we're accustomed to today. They operated under sunlight in this space. It's kind of blacked out now because they put a building over it, and there's some HVAC equipment up in there, which is why we're not going to do anything about that. But you can see some shots of light coming in here, but you have to imagine that on a cloudy day like today, in the early 1900s or the late 1800s, they probably had to delay surgery. They probably couldn't do it. Later on, all the new technology that becomes available, it becomes accessible when it's affordable and put into the system. This is a much more modern, mid-20th century operating room light, which kind of still spins a little bit and it'll slide up and down. And you look at the chrome that's in there, that chrome is barely rusted. And it's been over 40 years that nobody's done any maintenance in here. And this unit itself is probably from the 1950s or 60s. There's an amazing amount of quality that goes into the kind of work and tools that grow the arch. You know, over 40 years, that large paulownia tree ends up probably moving some 300, 400-pound stones around and grows into the space and knocks down a lot of the plaster that has to get taken out. Anybody see a little brown furry thing? That's a rat. Don't snap your feet, it'll come and run towards you. And you can see how decrepit this space is, and what our job here is not to completely bring it back. Our mission here is to stabilize this and be able to bring people in here much more often than just 2 or 3 times a day that we're doing now. And anybody in here may not make a noise over here?
If we did, we wouldn't tell you.
Well, if you know those folks, point them in our direction. This is going to be so fun. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your kind time and attention. We run these hands-on histories all day. I'd like you to look on the back of your schedules to catch up with us. Let's go out this way, single file, please. When you take a left, you'll need to wait for me at that gate. I'll need to open it up. If you wouldn't mind staying to the right and allowing me a little pathway on the left, so you get past you so I can open up that gate.
How successful were the surgeries relative to other cases?
I haven't done any of this, the record studies, so I don't know. I'm not even going to check that out for you if you're interested. Ladies and gentlemen, they need to empty the space. Please exit out into the corridor. Ladies and gentlemen, quickly please, I need to get to my next hands-on history, which will be the conduct. Enjoy the rest of your visit. Thanks for getting your teeth clean at the dentist's office.
Thank you.